and then building a studio, giving it a name, bringing Pierre, bringing many other composers to check what he was doing. Olivier Messiaen, Edgar Varese, they were not unknown people. Stockhausen
was quite rather young.
Stockhausen was unknown. Mm-hmm. Stockhausen came to beg him, and he said, "Okay, you may come." But Henri Sauguet, Darius Milhaud, there were very people that were already installed in the musical world. And then in 1954, he leaves the group because he is a very well-known person. He starts participating to a world conference that was to determine the distribution of frequencies for radio in the world. It happened in Mexico. And then he had a huge, wonderful program of developing radio in Africa and in the colonies in those days. So he left GRM. Was not called GRM yet. And he left Pierre with a certain number of tasks. You had to work on the solfège, you had to make a sound tech and with different cathedrals. Pierre said, "I'll make my music." And so Pierre meets Maurice Béjart, and probably that was one of the stronger drivers, both for Béjart and both for Pierre and for Musique Concrète, because Béjart was a very young composer, also wasn't a composer dancer. He was not well known, but they traveled all around the world with Musique Concrète. So everybody, some generation, had always heard about that. Schaeffer comes back in 1958. He kicks out Pierre because he didn't do what he was supposed to do, and he starts creating the GRM, but no more dedicated to Musique Concrète. This was a much more general scope. All music is concerned about.
So because in the group before there was, I think,
Groupe de Recherche Musique Concrète.
Right, and now it's just Groupe de Recherche
Musicale. And he wants composers not to compose, but to make experimentations, to make catalogs of sounds and things like that. Composers, well, they respect him, they don't really put themselves to work. And Schaeffer composes then in 1957, 58, 59, I would say his major works, which are his Études des objets, Études de son animé, Études des allures, and which are probably the landmarks of his work with the symphony with Pierre. But there were analytical compositions to convince also the other composers to work on studies of different